dear children. Welcome back to Business Studies of Class 12th. Let us continue the chapter Controlling, an important management function. You have already studied the meaning, features and importance of controlling function. Today we will study about the controlling process or steps in the process of controlling. Control process includes 5 steps. They are the first one, setting standards by which performance will be measured. Second, measuring the actual performance. Third, comparing the actual performance with standards and identifying any deviations. Then, analyzing the deviations and taking corrective actions if any. These are the 5 steps in the process of controlling. Now let us discuss the first step, which is that setting the standards. Setting the standard is the first step of controlling. In this case, the standard performance will be fixed. In our example, we told 1000 units. Standards are the basis for measuring the actual performance. You know that. Controlling standards are classified as quantitative and qualitative standards. Quantitative standards are expressed in terms of money, and qualitative standards includes intangible items like quality of the products, then good labor relations, etc. Now the second step, measuring the actual performance. After the standards are determined, which was our example 1000 units, the next step is to measure the actual performance. Say it may be 900. So our set standard was 1000 units, but actual production was only 900 units. So the second step includes measuring the actual performance. Now the third one, comparing the actual performance with the standards. 1000, that means 900 is compared with 1000 and identifying if any deviations are there. Okay, here deviation is there. 1000 is the standard and 900 is the actual. What is the deviation? 100 units. Okay, so in this step, the actual performance will be compared with the standards, and if there is any deviation, that will be identified. Now the fourth step, analyzing the deviations. Some deviations can be expected in all activities, right? So we must determine the acceptable range of deviations. Management can use critical point control and management by exception in such cases. Okay, so now you may be thinking, what is critical point control, right? Since it is not easy to check each and every activity in an organization, the control should focus on key result areas, that is important areas, which act as the critical points, that is termed as KRA, key result areas. Okay, so KRAs or key result areas are very essential for the success of the business. Okay, now you may be thinking, what is the meaning of management by exception? According to the principle of management by exception, an attempt to control everything results in controlling nothing. Okay, so it states that managers at every level should confine their attention to only critical or important deviations which are very relevant to the organization. It makes the management's job a little easier by directing its own focus on the important areas or key areas and telling the management to pay attention only when the situation changes drastically. Okay, I think it is clear. Now the last step, what is that? Taking corrective actions if it is needed. Okay, so in our example, we already identified the deviation was 100 unit. Okay, it is a relevant deviation, right? So we have to take corrective action to correct the deviation. Okay, so if the deviations are within the limits, then no need of any corrective measures. Okay, but if the deviations are relevant, then it is very easily, that means very important to take the corrective measures. So here we have to identify what is the reason behind this deviation of 100 units of production. Okay, and we have to identify what is the reason and we should take the remedial measures to correct that. So, my dear children, I think now you are thorough with the 5 steps of controlling. Study very well. Thank you. Have a nice day.